Okay, cool. It's gonna go to the cloud. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Alie Jones. I am a writer, artist, a co-founder of Black Freedom Press. We are a revolutionary press committed to the exploration of liberation and using art to transform consciousness, and really a platform for Black and Brown writers to express and honor ancestry and propel radical imagination. We are so excited to be celebrating Raina de León and her book, y'all. I hope I hope everyone is as excited as we are. I'm like, yes. So yeah, please share in the chat where y'all are beaming in from and some love for Raina. But like, we got to celebrate people and give them their flowers while they're present with us. So I think that's really important. So just to ground us into this space, into our evening, I'm just gonna invite you to your breath. And I'm gonna read a little bit of a kind of book bio that Raina wrote about this book. And so as you just breathe in and out, noticing where your breath leads you in your body, noticing where you can probably let go a little bit. Imagine a deeply rooted tree that rises to intertwine each branches with the curls of a descending universal celebrated Blackness. Black God Mother, this body explores the divine, the ancestral line, the naturally rhythm Black woman in her embodied reality, particularly as mother, glorification of whiteness is death. So y'all, we have so many incredible readers with us tonight. I'm gonna kick us off reading a few of Raina's pieces and one of my own. Y'all, if you don't have this book, you honestly need it. I'm really not just, look, and I'm not just saying it. I'm not just saying, this is like a true feeling. I actually read this piece for my high school students this week and they loved it. They loved it. Look, okay, we got hugs from Fresno. Come on, Fresno. All right, this piece is called Testimonio for Camila Aisha Moon, whose name means perfect life. I want her to be seen, no ver. Campos de sangre rodeados por pop, pauso. Ese maldito sonido, gone and coming through, ay bendita. I want her to not see, ser vista. Slow revelation of light, overlapping ribbons, giratorio de oro, green curl, black glimmer, a shine, and a hat. Resplandor del pulso, manera de warming her good center y siempre. Así que she sleeps in the night, campanadas de canciones, tranquil first. I want her to be querida, no por los fuegos artificiales, intoxicantes internos, all of our memories. Su vida una luna brillante y cortante, treasured on aged tree knot tongues forever. No, I want her safe and saying my name like a hip dip secret to the right, just right groove, not boxed in shining gray. Pero es ya no está. Here and yet is here. That is my first piece from Raina. And I'm gonna share one of my pieces. I'm just like, still y'all, everyone needs this book. I think I text Raina, I was like, I'm crying. I'm just reading this and I'm crying. And it paralleled with like a ritual for bell hooks. And I remember just thinking about women and love and healing. And so I really appreciate this opportunity to be reading with y'all and for us all to be in the space together, celebrating Raina. And this piece is called Siren Rising. I don't want to remember my life before mermaids. I was raised by saltwater queens, blessed by magical beings of mythic proportions, daughters of Yemeya and Gumbo, those who remind me of the beautiful resilience that lives within us, coiled crowns adorned with cowrie, goddesses, who maintain the grace of a gazelle with the ever-changing tides, mes sirènes, my mermaid queens, flowing, crashing, rising. My grandma Genevieve, cayenne pepper royalty, celestial matriarch, soft, yet steady as a metronome in the kitchen with a laugh that could brighten any dim room. Unafraid of what is to come because her certainty is founded in love. Her setbacks created the beginning of her greatest comebacks, flowing through the roughest currents and remaining strong, flowing, crashing, rising. Mother Teresa, calming like rosemary and gentle as gardenias, earth warrior, who taught me to respect and protect the earth, to value all forms of life, holding space for her softness and her offspring, unconditionally magical, conjuring potions that transform the flu into a slight sniffle, or inventing the perfect bedtime story. She grew in the midst of adversity, never allowing fear to stop her pursuit, crashing against every judgment or expectation with determination, flowing, crashing, rising. Mes sirènes, my mermaid queens, cousins who always remind me that I could do anything, sisters that challenge me to seek softness in times of pain and trauma, to look at myself in a mirror untarnished by self-loathing, my aquatic angels, who kept me sane when all I thought I could ever be was crazy, loving with our hearts wide open, guided by our gut feelings and our star signs, rêveurs, croyants, amants, et guerriers, dreamers, believers, lovers, and warriors, rising above black holes of doubt, insecurities, and fear, flowing, crashing, rising. Woo. Okay. This next piece of Raina's is called Hover. Above us, there are no helicopters, not like when the wind smelled like California soot, and every hour sirens wove their hair into ours and sung, names to enchant cacophony, say their names, and we were home. Your sister newborn in my arms, protecting her life, a protest. Weeks before, each time a plane scored the Berkeley sky in white, you would point up, say, Mama, because I am always in the sky, even when my skin burns in the sun next to yours. How my eyes leak with storms you cannot yet name. We stand in unhinged weather. There are no helicopters today. You bang on the wheelbarrow with dried bamboo stalks as drumsticks and lift your toddler throat to shout, Kato, over and over again. A screamo chorus, lyrics perfectly formed to your ears. I nod only yes and keep beat. At the People's Park, marchers assemble with banners of I can't breathe. San Pablo, I can hear. The horns of a car parade inside the mourners shout behind masks from open windows while the virus flies around us all, pandemic and crown and white. Surrounded by fences, I can keep you safe and breathing until I can't. Every door, the threat of splinter. There are no helicopters today. Kato, you yell. Somewhere they descend. Somewhere a body hangs, halfway between metal and earth. Again, y'all, we all just need this book in our lives. Like, this is just the continued amplification of that. Thank you, Raina, for this necessary work in the world. Our next reader is, yes, they're here. Tongo Eisen-Martin is a poet, movement worker, and educator. His latest curriculum on extrajudicial killing of Black people, We Charge Genocide Again, has been used as an educational and organizing tool throughout the country. His book, Someone's Dead Already, was nominated for a California Book Award. His latest book, Blood on the Fog, can be found at City Lights Books. And he is a co-founder and editor of Black Fader Press. Welcome, Tongo.
Hey. How is everyone doing? What can I say? Man, Raina has been the only genius on my mind for years. And when Black Fader Press came into this world, I don't know if she knew we was either gonna have a book this year or the year after, but I would have stalked her to the ends of the earth, you know what I mean, to get this to get this masterpiece of a book out. And you know, I got to work closely with her on it. And when I tell you it's kind of, she has this supernatural kind of just really scary talent. It's scary. It's scary. It's scary. It's scary. We talking about someone who's really one with the mystery, you know. But I'll get out the way and let her do the talking. This is her poem called What We Lose in the Fire, A Blown Tire Makes Us See. The slight glimmer of wedding dress, bedding once slicked down by nervous palms before the aisle. The detritus of childhood, her last baby too, so recently shook in a pink fairy box. The long unplayed cello that must have sounded out its own urging to the fire that licked it to char. All the books, the blessed books, the devastation of libraries that burn, our tenderest treasures, a mandala, prayer written in gold, all the flecks of us layered in disparate places, the hair balls crevice resting, we burned there, though we were not there, or perhaps we were, and only high-flying birds could intuit our story as they flew in circles, cinder blinded until they fell, for the trees are tender and the earth grays over. Above the death mare's mane blocks the sun, searing still in orange glow. How terrible the psychedelic colors at sunset, how terrible the smoldering. And we did not lose our eyes, seeing the blaze for wonder, what was and what might be. That's cold. And these poems also have a special place in my heart, as I am one of the godparents of those two lovely giant souls. Person of interest. It does not matter how many times I say my body is not a threat, how many times the tests come back negative. I'm always a person of interest, suspect, even in birthing a child. Who could be a virus criminal like me? Corona a crown we could share. They will slide the wallpaper right into your cereal bowl. Flesh market, both sides of the levee. Change of plans, both sides of the nonviolence on no earth, just an earth character. I'm a beggar, and all of this day is too easy. I want to see all the phases of a wall, every age it goes through, its humanity, its environmental racism. We call this the ordeal blues. Now crawl to the piano seat and make a blanket for yourself. Paint scenes of a child dancing up to a court appearance and leaving an adult, but not for home. Atlantic Ocean charts mixed in with the parole papers. Mainstream funding, the ruling class is only pacifism. Ruling class printing judges, fiat kangaroos, making judges hand over fist, rapture cop packs and opposition whites all above a thorny stem, cast plans picked out like bands for the murder show, Anglo saints addicting you to a power structure. You want me to raise a little slave, don't you? Bash his little brain in and send him to your civil rights. No pain, just a white pain, delicate bullets in a box next to a stack of monolith scriptures. Make these bullets look relevant, don't it? I remember you everywhere you lay your hat is the capital of the South, the posture you introduced to that fence, the fence you introduced to political theory. Like, if you shred my dream, son, I will tack you to gunsmoke like the suburbs are finally offended, and this will be a meditation to our perfect confidence in the sun, in commemoration, every tambourine 1,000 miles in every direction, playing in the California rent party, rattlers dancing and bleeding over guys non-white in the skin, waiting for the cornfield to shrug. We are forgetful, but your ancestors nevertheless. Slowing down the poem to the speed of sweet light, the speed of bedless deaths, the bones of fast friends near a pile of first fruits, pile of imperialist failings, oppressor and oppressed give their guns the same nickname. Underground working class sort of goes back to school, sort of studies revolution. The summer belongs to itself now, as does the sharecropper's guide, as does the death mask. Real advice from Malcolm, real rose chords over my Memphis skeleton, a tenor part before dying, playing to our waning blood pressure, our penny-plated gun, the last of the space-time tug. White people would have sold us standing naked on anything, would have sold us off a huge garden crystal or a peacock feather, would have sold us off a stack of doo-wop records if they could, would have sold us off the perfection of the cosmos, forestry of drug paraphernalia, suburb spikes in the grass, syringe jungle like a sick bed, execution needle that became a society's bottleneck, preamble, news talk, or nuclear scientists thank for their work, activists who don't scream black power, rather black component, a painful season gone sentient and well-dressed, taken as a whole, taken in puppet skin. A sentient Sunday that married 15 sticks of dynamite. We are houseless now, dancing our waistlines into a courtroom floor, Atlantic Ocean, throwing my voice into the weeds, city weeds of the other Confederacy. I double down on this poem, on this gang friendship, sign of apocalypse in all directions. I'd run this poem into the ground. On my 5th skip meal today, Lord, we become even better friend. Dollar store notebooks in a mass context, pen cap full of bullets, California color line is played out with necro protest types who sleep on the other earth while we waiting to shoot on a muralist behalf that's waiting to shoot an old man's truancy of sorts, a tear stain on a pamphlet, houseless bookseller speaking about little Bobby the Conqueror, crisis of open air corrections, chemical extradition and war songs, wearing off around the corner from South Texas. You pretended that prison is a river. You married your American cop, black skin, white mantras, like normal speed bullets, changing a normal life, like walking back to the United States in defeat. that is my response to the grooviness. Yeah, I'm again, I don't, like Raina, you are a bona fide historical figure, unrivaled genius, sister, sister to me, sister to us all, in the most important and cosmic way. So it's been nothing but my life's real honor to be a part of this book's journey, man. Much love, and much love to everyone.
Yes. Thank you, Tongo. Oh man, Raina, we love you. That's what this whole night is just gonna keep echoing, that we love you and that we're celebrating you and all of your achievements. Our next reader is Leticia Hernandez Linares. She is an interdisciplinary bilingual writer, artist, and racial justice educator. She's the author of Mucha Muchacha, Too Much Girl, and Alejandria Fights Back, La Lucha de Alejandria. She's an international performer and widely published writer. Y'all, please show some love for Leticia.
Hey, buenas tardes. Y'all hear me okay? Great. I'm not at home, so I'm like just hoping that all of the internets are working despite Mercury Reggaeton's campaign to crush us all. But I'm holding it down. And I'm so happy to be here and to hear all this love and to feel all this love for this incredible being. in this beautiful book. I was so happy to have you at my class at San Francisco State to show you off and transform some new writers. I'm going to read, let's see. Anyway, just before I jump in, I just want to say congratulations again. My face kind of hurts from smiling already. I'm just like, oh my God, I feel like it's my book. I'm like, oh my God. And I know that's exactly how you want us to feel. So I'm really happy to be here. I also just want to congratulate and shout out the press. You know, like this is a exciting, important, necessary, life-saving, you know, project and work. And so far, everything y'all have put out has been phenomenal, transformational. So thank you. All right. So I am going to read, hold on a second. Prophets sing the whole world. I dance muscle atrophy to diagram. I have it all, the whole world in my hands. I can nose out the mirror truth, cartwheel quick through dermis into comet spray with one touch. Cosmos blueprints through body pathways, a black divine in the DNA. I know, persona cartographer, sidling up in mink and a Cadillac. What? Time be time, but knows no time. World be out, but close as a thumbprint coil. Prick the whole world. Don't you want to sing? Don't you want to bang the bells, chime a look ahead, and here comes, you can't catch me, I am already in you. Sometimes I dream myself, Matrix Neo. Me too. That's not part of the poem. Cool prophet, but no savior, no saving, string tendon as harp. Play the texture to skip like a child on 3 popsicles. Transmit the boxing balance life, the depth. Be Rex glorious, the whole world. Don't you want it too? This unfrozen light, the dust dance, brutally tussle back into a new celestial form. Oh, Raina. I love the whole like experience of this book. You've made it more than a book. And you know, that's so my jam of like, it's something you can listen to, that you can see, that you can feel, that pushes the boundaries of the page and the time, whatever it is, quantum portal. So thank you. All right. So in the spirit of pushing time portals, I'm going to read something new that I actually happened to write in the woods near the ocean in Oregon State with MK when we were off making magic in the I almost said the I don't know what I was about to say, the woods, and then it changed into the worlds, and like, yeah, we have this habit of creating words as well. So there you go. And don't get me started on what Siri does when we try to dictate to that racist person. But anyway, I just called Siri a person. Okay, let me just read the poem. All right. Here we go. Pinturas futuras. The ground a drum, the drum a valley. The valley a recreation of the equatorial. Recreation a mural that feeds our equatorial saudade. Our saudade, the lament that builds movements and comedores. Our movements irreverent of borders, our comedores feeding our starving almas, caving in from the distance we dig. We pull them open. From the distance, we dig cantos from our pockets, our cantos made of chorus. Paint me a future where you can recognize me on this corner. Paint me bristle to my breast, lather cobalt and fuchsia, layers on my sternum that eventually peel and unearth sand crystals I can't wash off my ankles. No matter how I try to dust the glistening of homeland, I arururu, arururu, I bolero, so you can dream us still in Cuscatan, invited on Ramay, living on 25th, present on Valencia, communing on Bryant. Future me into a backdrop of a sutro bath, my braids and brightness outside the perimeter. Mix the colors until you cover the slate and pastel and white from all the palettes. Spill the scaffolds, beat the developers at their ruthless Jenga, a clatter and a cracking of the hastily constructed walls, slippery, foldable, artificial. The bones of wood, the wood a haunting of residents, the residents scattered, mapless, maps altered and hidden, altered and hidden. Our sons sprouting like sweet, sunny California poppies, illegal to cut, pluck, uproot from natural habitat. The states perennial, more protected than our progeny, more protected than our babies. Paint me reeds that I sing into a boat, siren the color, wail the bullets, grow fins and unearth the creek and insist us into the future, pace us into 4 familiar walls. Chant us back, chant us back, chant us back together again. Arurururu, arurururu, arurururu. Gracias. I just want to thank you, Raina. Congratulations. I just want to apologize ahead of time that it wasn't an earthquake. It was my birthday weekend that you felt the other day, and so I have a dinner tonight, and so I already let Raina know. I usually stay and hold space for all of my peers and my community, so please forgive me for bowing out. But love to you all, much respect, and thank you. It's been an honor to be part of this. And thank you.
Oh my gosh, yes. Thank you so much, Leticia. Happy birthday. Also, I loved your background. That was so beautiful. Y'all, this is a healing meditation, an extended song, and an experimentation in augmenting reality that constantly threatens Black mothers and children. It is also a covert communication in the hidden ways of trees. Did you know that some can determine how to share resources through their roots and even support a cluster community in a dying of one tree so that others might be able to grow? Again, coming from our book bio from Raina. Our next writer-reader, Dr. Alan Pelaez Lopez, is an Afro-Indigenous poet, installation and adornment artist from Oaxaca, Mexico. Their work attends to the quotidian realities of undocumented migrants in the United States, the Black condition in Latin America, and the intimate kinship units that trans and non-binary people build in the face of violence. Y'all, please show some love for Dr. Alan Pelaez Lopez.
Hey y'all, welcome to this incredible celebration for Dr. Raina. I'm so excited to share space with you again. I've been reading this book quite a few times ever since I got it. And one of the poems that really struck me that just made me think a lot about children and what they can teach us and how we can be better people in the world is titled The Only Color. So I'm gonna read this out of Raina's book. The only color. Verde, verde, verde. Every color is verde. And I think on Federico Garcia Lorca, how I read this poem to him, days old, his whole body less than 6 pounds on my chest. And now he stands a wild octopus boy on a chair reaching for the markers. Verde, verde, he says, though the uncapped tool marks pages to orange, and his father says he knows what the best color is. I say naranja or naranjado, he has to know his colors and go into a diatribe about school, not being behind. It is not about school. He is my son, and so the box waits. A checkmark of abuses woven into his identity. Will he ever be able to just be the creative child?
The things you said on camera, but we've got the dance tonight, got the show tomorrow, and a long, long time before I gotta.
Wait, you know,
And Michal tomorrow.
Jamal, can you mute yourself, please?
My apologies, I am.
Thank you.
Will he ever be able to just be the creative child who says, verde, verde, verde for all the colors, glorified for how his mind stretches divergent? My husband does not know about that, know that the box can be a casket, and each day we must fight for it not to be. A mild wren on a street lined with green leaves. Lorca wrote a poem. They shot him too, so bright. I just want my son to know his colors and live. Raina, that poem kind of, I remember when I first read it, I was sitting outside and I just closed the book and journaled and thought about the young kids in my life. And I read it to my siblings who are drastically younger than me. They're in high school and, you know, talk to them about it. And yeah, I think it made us think about some things differently as siblings. So thank you for that. And now I'll read one of my pieces, and this is titled Questions to Ask After Your Facial Feminization Surgery Consultation. Who were you before the discipline began? Does heaven exist? If so, will others recognize you? Who was the first person to ask permission to kiss you? All of you. Can you say your name out loud 3 times? How about again? Do you recall the last time you touched your body? What is freedom? For whom is your joy? What are the uses of grief? Is hopelessness a trap or a peg into the future? Can you remember the first time you looked into the mirror and didn't recognize yourself? Has that ended? Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in dragons? Were they once lonely too? Do people fear their size and their fire? Or do people fear the fact that their size and their fire cannot be contained? Why do we dream? And now it's a transition into Black God, Mother This Body once more. This poem, I have quite a few favorites, but this is really up there. And this is Freedom Dreaming is a Symphony. Most beautiful, a friend, sensing I was down and ill, orchestrated a 4-part harmony song with a theater company she led that praised what I had done for others and for her. A measure here for affirmations and a measure here for a meal. A measure here for being birth plan ready. Another measure for passion flower blossoms bundled to go after tea. The score was embroidered on fabric that unfolded from the stand. The song ended with a chorus on freedom and finding liberation. Together, how we worship in one another's joy and healing. It was so beautiful. I woke up crying. Thank you, Raina.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Y'all, we're gonna keep on moving. This beautiful, like this night is just, we're going there. Michael M.J. Jones is a poet and parent and the editor-in-chief of Fog Lifter Press. They have a debut full-length poetry collection, Hood Vacations, from Black Lawrence Press, and a chapbook, Soft Armor, from Nomadic Press, both coming in 2023. Y'all, please show some love for MJ.
Blessings, everybody. Can y'all hear me okay? All right, I had a little internet spottiness, so just let me know. Raina, congratulations on your beautiful work of art. Thank you for asking me to be here with all these beautiful folks. I'm going to read two of Raina's pieces. The book has touched me in many ways, one of them being as a parent to a beautiful, beautiful Black child. And that is what I will say for now. Thank you for this beautiful work, Raina. In the beginning. It's in the sheen, still cosmic shine and glitter over your cheeks and forehead as you sucked on your two fingers, index and middle, in the time when most babies would be sleeping. That external gleam, a mica dermis splatter, always made me recall how you came to me in a dream. Angelic writing on the force of an earthquake to tell me your name. Tell me you were in my cavity, central, the day before the blood test confirmed that I was pregnant. That shine over the cream of your skin made a quilt of light and memory, too, of how I had a Reiki healer to maneuver my energies in the days before you broke the seals of me in so much water, how she said, wafting an eagle's feather, that she could sense an angelic presence over me. Yes, you were there all around me, without and within, in elemental magic. In the times immediately after your birth, I wrote minute reflections on social media of this mother essence, this ascendancy into a new identity, that of the mother and the writer and academic and partner in parenting and life. I used the hashtag, this is the beginning of an essay, to organize, to be able to easily look back to this becoming of me and me in relationship to you. This is how we began, celestial, embodied spell work, light-filled. Beyond hardware. I peruse paint samples to learn what shade names you. A blend of camulet cream and ivory and at your cheek blush rose, but I don't need a color chart for that. At 6 months, you have lost the shimmer that teens buy cheap or steal in their first transgressions, but for a time, there it was, free, this floating mica fleck, as if you were still dipped in celestial, all known and unknown elements you rode to my pulsing womb. All these months, I watched the stardust fade, the cosmic hold loosening to my terra firma. And now you are dressed in a soft blue onesie with little ears. What animal does capitalism say that you are? Your little one is safe and warm and held, and ours, it seems to say. Stupid symbols, charts, and systems. Stupid the act of reaching for a fixation. In my womb, I felt a girl, and then at 10 weeks, your sex organs formed, a boy. Now sometimes I forget the sex I bore and use pronouns that are mine for you. Shake loose of it all. I never asked you to tell me your name. You told me at your being start. All I know is that I bore you, nursed you as I was able. Only you can name you. I know nothing else. Thank you, Raina, for those poems. This is a piece of mine called Dove. For the Bart dancers. Before he stepped out the house, before his sneak smacked the sidewalk, before he glided up the stairwell, before he trombone slid onto a Daly City train, before he threw a poem and lyric upside a brick wall, he knew he was somebody, damn right he was somebody. Before he held a blazing then lilac sunset in the palm of his hands, before he both became and defied the night, before his debut onto this fog city backdrop. He had rapped at his grandmother's door with soft knuckles and awaited her welcome. He kissed her forehead and pulled the medicine vial from his back pocket. He poured up a golden teaspoon of the brown syrup. He tilted it to her quaking lips and she drank. He wrapped arms strong with song around her and planted one more forehead kiss. Before he lifted his entire weight up onto BART handlebars and suspended upside down in a God-kissed levitation, he had seesawed his two little sisters, clung to each arm, turning and turning as a sprinkler or record does, pirouetting as a dancer does, as their laughs and screams echoed throughout the house. Before he held every kick, every snare, every bass in his fluid, ecstatic, electric, shouting body, he had clad himself in the full moon. He robed his body with a lily. He wrapped himself in snow, call him icy. He sprouted dove wings out of his feet. He became a cloud. He danced onto tongues of white light. Before he rounded his shoulders and two-stepped out of the house, his mama stepped behind him, as she does, to watch him bob down the hill and out of view, mouthing her same daily prayer, return, son, return. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, MJ. Y'all, the chat is going off. We're just moving through with these incredible writers, creators. Our next writer is Meilan Carter-Gilkey, and she writes about relationships, identity, health, and everything she's trying to understand. Her work's been published in the anthologies All the Women in My Family Sing, Who's Your Mama?, The Voices of Unsung Women and Mothers. Y'all, please show some love for Meilan.
Hello, everybody. Raina, first of all, thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. And, I'm always like, I'm not a poet. And I just feel really honored to be here and to see this work. And I want to quickly also just say that Raina's an amazing writing coach. And so somewhere in between raising children and teaching and writing beautiful poetry, she also is helping other writers. So thank you for all that you've given me and all that you've given us. Okay, so I'm gonna read two pieces. The first one is called Atrial Septal Defect, or We Must Leave This Country Before My Son Turns 12. Sometimes I fear the casket shroud will emerge from my own shadow to greet me smiling with my son's teeth. This country is such a cruel, cruel winter. To Black boys singing their spirits from dread, it hangs on their songs to clink on snow-covered boughs. My sister's son died, and she wore right. Only 2 months, his heart already broken in its making. With Tamir, Ayana, and honesty, Black babies in a pandemic of guns and crowns, I whisper to myself his new name, Prophet. Call her grief pure, a natural end and still a butchering. Sometimes I see him somersaulting in her wake, and sometimes I fear how my still new name, Mama, might be written in soot or snow, on snow. His twin is 8 now, their sister is 2, continuum of earth, color codes, field of gleeful browns. My son is Black, and he is parchment and cream. This northern city has grime and glint in its racism. And I'm gonna read Time Magic for my son. I'm writing you a new spell that uncoils from the spell of your making. Silver filament thread carried your glimmer to lining rest, chosen and made frozen and unfrozen, carried in place by a needle measured in microns. Womb, a fabric pinprick. I write you a spell that in print will gild the ways possible, in speech will take shape in your bone set and viscosities. I watch you in baby form asleep beneath stripes of white and black. You are firelight, cast free. I write you the spell of freedom in water. Ice thought grooved into page. I write you angelic sheen that you carry on your cheeks still in this 6 month, ever after. The stroller channels gravel in winter's quiet park as I tap keys. My bare feet on white marble while you sleep in crib. Your papa snores his lullaby. Only the dead know whose mouth first formed it. Tied in, you ripples out, then back again. Vulnerability and reverb. To birth you, I consulted a Reiki healer. I filled my house with orange roses, held rose court, offered my points to an acupuncturist needles, so many other healers. Chanted heal within my own mind, offered vortexes swirling within me, a fixed softness to welcome you, who are a sign of water, born between luck of 16 and unluck of 17. This spell the first work of your temple. May you see generations be free, be free, be free. I'm going to read a piece of my own, a little vignette, and apologies, I'm fighting a bug, so I'm losing my voice a little. Okay, this is called Indian Curry. I wanted to have an accent, a language that did not include Valley Girl euphemisms and Black slang. I longed for my New York cousin's Spanish to spin smoothly off my tongue, but when I walked through Washington Heights, I could not roll my R's. The women with worn smiles, flowered print skirts, and thick eyebrows spoke to me like aunties and grandmothers, waiting for me to tell them what time the bus was coming or if the mangoes were ripe. Their shades of brown and thickets of hair confused me, and their unfamiliar words baffled me. Ladies from Puerto Rico, Cuba, or the Dominican Republic clucked their tongues at my pitiful no habla, their eyes accusing me of abandoning them in a culture that wasn't mine. I never noticed myself in their reflection, brown with a hint of red under the skin, thick spirals of dark hair. They looked more like my relatives than my father's family. Strolling through streets of old men with brim hats in front of chessboards or dominoes, music blasting from open windows or small radios with handles. I wanted to sit with them. They had a style, a secret, a knowing that they belonged somewhere, and it was somewhere I had never seen before. They were sure of who they were, and they flew flags from tiny islands to prove it. My brief 12 years in the California sun gave me a glimpse, a landscape of race, but a narrow glimpse of nationality. I was told they weren't Black and Puerto Rican, they were just Puerto Rican. Even if their skin was darker and their hair was kinkier, they were different. I was confused and jealous that they were familiar, but still distant. The Queen, our mother's mother, who I stayed with in New York, had a Cuban birth certificate and Rodriguez as her given name, but no language. She was not one of them. Graceful lady dressed in a royal purple, grazing her ankles. My grandmother carried her pocketbook and wore gold earrings to the basement to wash clothes. Her Jamaican accent was like fiddle music playing in her laugh, like rivers running. Like our mother, she seemed a citizen of nowhere, with her gurus and her meatless diet. Her Jamaica was not that of her fellow transplants. Her tangible offerings consisted of canned ackee, rice and peas, and grape nut ice cream made with condensed milk, her entire culinary repertoire. But the stories and family pride she had made me want a homeland. The keeper of family history, she explained our very twisted family roots tied to different islands and countries, but we were always Black first. A Portuguese rabbi in Cuba, a Maroon woman from Jamaica, a French female pharmacist. I held on to these familiar legends. I wanted to anchor myself to Jamaica, Cuba, or Scotland, in any of the lands that we had family. So I included all of those countries in my ethnicity recipe. We couldn't completely claim Jamaica with American fathers and a mother who existed out of those borders. No kids ate rice and peas and curry chicken in my neighborhood, and any Jamaican kid could taste my mother's curry and know it was more like Indian curry.
Thank you so much, Milan. Oh my goodness. Yes, this is just like nourishing. And what if someone were to offer you her girlhood and her motherhood, her hidden knives and her soft places, her earliest Afro-Puerto Rican memories, and her current pandemic-scape strategies? What then? In Black Godmother This Body, Raina León offers what a godmother should offer: a portal to infinite divine possibility, a safe space to learn something new, a multifaceted generosity. These poems are that mother, mentor, and the mend and break open again. León offers us everything, and so we have to decide, what will we do with it? Alexis Pauline Gumbs. Y'all, our next reader is M.K. Chavez. They are a mixed race Afro-Latinx writer and educator. She is also the author of Mothermorphosis and Dear Animal from Nomadic Press and the lyric essay chapbook, A Brief History of the Selfie. Y'all please show some love to MK.
Hi, it's so great to be here. Raina, thank you for including me tonight. And I want to say, I think Raina is probably one of the most welcoming people that I ever met in the world, but especially in the literary community, where sometimes it seems like you need a special code, you know, to like get in. All I ever felt was welcome from her, and in so many different ways, whether it's sharing her work and her thoughts online, or sharing her words and her thoughts at readings. And I'm just really, like, I've been so aware of that and have, you know, shared that with other people about how I feel about you, and also have shared with people how I think you're really magical. And there's tons of proof, because you clearly full time because of everything that you get done. You're raising these 2 children, you support and nurture all these other writers. And I just am so thrilled when I can read your work. And I'm so happy that this book is in the world. It sorely needs it, and it's healing, and I'm grateful for it directly. Thank you. I'm going to read Hypatia teaches that they come for the woman, for the women who knew. Serapis, this meteor hawk, bleeds of fire. You stitch how this pink colors into earth. Hair pickles slow. The mob peels my virtue, patient in torture, twist smiles and silver rings. Serapis, pray me, daughter, again. Was it my skin that called their cutting oyster shells? Aki miros, plain thin to papyrus toned flesh. Soak the flap for 3 days. Layered resurrection. I die for vellum, carved to my voice. To know the law is to write on still throbbing tendon. Father, roof tiles for sheaves, and all my letters swirl me numb. What does a girl know of suffering? Never felt her brown skin scroll unspooled for flick flame eyes. Not even a spit rain reprieve. Animals, Serapis, see here. Years I have labored with why. Chisels on river-worn stone. Alexandria law sharpening, teething. I never wanted my animal to rule, rune, ink curve, chip archive, stain heel, mage. Someone is dead, so many someones. Start a library to know, or just be a woman who speaks. Such a beautiful poem, Raina, just so amazing. I am often inspired by Raina. And one of the things that I've gotten really excited about is horror. I've had a couple conversations with Raina and have been exploring identity through American horror films. So that's what I brought today to share. I was a mixed race zombie. I wasn't born a relentless creature of resurrection. If I could, I would eat from the top of my head. I would feed the severance chakra, that mysterious lotus, 1,000 petals in 20 layers of 50 more petals. Once I was so invisible that I ate my way into existence. I consumed the bigot cashier from Joanne Fabrics, the man at Whole Foods who wanted to cut me in line. I ate the wolf whistler and his wife. Then I said, I am pure consciousness because my lotus ate your lotus. My lotus eats fear. My lotus lingers at the gateway of history, Loving versus Virginia, liminal skin, one drop or more. My brother named me dark magic. My uncle sang brown sugar at me. Children of the emerging paradigm, who will pick you for their team? My lotus has even eaten every inquiry into mixed race. My lotus mestiza, my lotus in Spanglish, my lotus in Salvi Noir, my lotus in Afro-hyphenate, my lotus eating the binary and then belching. Lotus of mystery, ethnic, and not enough boxes. Lotus of the multiracial multiverse. The most terrifying part of the movie is never what you think. What if zombies are just misunderstood? Thank you.
Wow, thank you, MK. That was incredible. I'm not, generally a horror person, but I was really brought in. Thank you for that. With Black Godmother, This Body, Raina León offers us poetics that feel like collective memoir for all of us in the lineage of the people murdered slow. The slivers and snippets of memory and confession range a lifetime of being daughter and granddaughter, niece, mother, wife, scholar. This collection is a delicious, intimate, and transgressive exploration of complex identity. Having read it, I feel fresh and whole. Adrienne Marie Brown. Y'all, I need everyone to go off in their emojis. I'm like, this is how I feel right now. We are celebrating Raina. She's our next reader, our last reader, our guest of honor. I am beyond honored to just be in community with Raina any single time we are in space together. It is magic. It is portal making. And I always feel like renewed. And so I just appreciate you, Raina, for being someone who is constantly regenerative. And that is your heart. So y'all, yes, we're gonna just keep the love flowing for Dr. Raina León.
Thank you so much, y'all. Wow. I am so absolutely delighted. As I wrote in the chat, every time my tears stopped, I tried another round, another round. Especially it is absolutely otherworldly to hear the work. I know I asked y'all to read the work, but it's like it's just a totally different experience to hear the poems, the prose pieces in your mouths coming into the world. And I'm just incredibly moved. Thank you. I love you, and I'm so divinely happy and I am so grateful and so grateful. I stand in such gratitude to Black Freighter, to Alie, to Tongo for believing in the work and welcoming this book into the incredible space of Black Freighter Press. I am, and I celebrate all of you coming to celebrate with me, and so many faces from all these different lives that I've lived, and the joy that you bring in celebration. I feel that, and I'm barely holding it together, y'all. So thank you so much. I'm just gonna read a few poems as I like another round of the weeping, y'all. Yeah, Kimmy, I saw you and I remember that I read this poem, I want to say at an event that MK invited me to participate in, and it was epic, y'all. It was at a mattress factory. And yeah, like your faces, it was at a mattress factory. It was epic. And one of the readers, I'll never forget this, was Thea Matthews, and who at one point in the reading decides to take off their shoes and jump on the mattress that was in the space. And that was part of the reading. It was epic. It was epic. And so I followed Thea and with this poem. And I remember, I distinctly remember feedback from Kimmy, who was like, no, this one moment, moans should be louder. So here we go. Mother sexed. Desire threads itself up the veins of my left leg. A fertile pain that pushes into groin pulse. My animal moans I catch in my throat, control my breath, my pant, a small tantric practice. Energy pull and swell. How the body blushes with heat. I am a rippling pool of remembrance. Beneath the folds of the maternal body, I feel my youth as a dancer, lithe and hard, two bodies in one memory, both sexed and sexy. It is not my husband's voice that sets to fire, nor a long, fuzzied and faded recollection of former sepia lover. It is mine. This rise to orgasm, the sharp smell of ozone in my nostrils electric. I am alone without the child who is my sweetest daily delight, or the partner who elicits giggles and thrills. I am alone. This night in self-adoration, I coast a choppy wave, still as the abandoned surfboard, the dance, the ride without rider. You know, a little sauce. Because we've been to so many other terrains. We have been in the space of dreaming and angelic presence and the celestial and the horror of our worlds. And, you know, okay, we're going to go some other places. And so I'm going to read this other one. A friend of mine, Amanda Johnston, who's one of the writers of Blurbs, especially connected to this one. And I hope that you do too, especially being rooted in an airport and drunkenness. Past the dark and stormy. How the liquor lacquers my tongue slick. For a moment, I am joyous. Where is my baby? At the bottom of a glass? No, over an ocean, my laughter effervescent bubbles in a corner of my mind. My parents cluck their tongues. Is this what Tim with his a baby far from mother withers? Or some guilt that thuds in a pool I do not swim. I am drunk in an airport. A moment while planes land, guided by flags and flashing light, while baby sleeps sound, love close and distant. And this is also a mothering. So true it bleeds. See it? There? Okay. You know, because this mothering is complex. And I'm just going to bring you, share two more poems with you because I also just want to be in the space of celebration. And here we're in the shifting into that. For a daughter on the nth day of self-isolation. Your brother cries in the dawning of each day. rested by body from dream delight. Into the routines. He takes the milk. He asks for baby. He asks for baby, which is short for a television program he loves because it teaches how to communicate an ASL, how to bridge the chasm with we giants between words we know and he invents. I tell him that he is the baby and that there is a baby too within me. Sometimes he lifts my dress or shirt and sticks his finger into my belly button or tries to lodge a magnet there as if to touch your hand, as if to call you out, as if to prove that he knows you are there. In my walk from bed to kitchen, your papa already there with bottle in hand, your name emerged as if it had always been there, Aurelia. The name of the road to Geneva, the home of your grandmother's people, as much a road as it is a journey for a people who bleed the sea. We make our home a ship without sails. Hospitals now say a pregnant mother with COVID-19 will have a C-section, will be separated from the newborn for up to 14 days, will birth alone. And so I gird myself in loneliness to protect us both from separation, a kind of early death. When the first hours call for clinging, the first suck of your mouth at my breast, the first coos of my mouth to your ear, this is your name. We crossed a rough sea. Together, here we are, daughter, whole and ever entangled, whole and separate in light and breath and blood. I try not to fear the devil outside. Unfortunately, no matter how protected I tried to be, that's where she ended up being birthed. And so there are poems that speak to that challenging, very challenging experience. Today, y'all, I was talking to my husband and I can't remember how it came to be. I can't remember what the story was, but we're upstairs, we're getting ready to go to my parents' house. And I was like, oh, you know, I was talking to my children, yeah, your papa says no more babies for us. I would love to have another baby. That's what it was. His brother is having, his brother and his partner are having twins. And I was so excited. I was like, I got to get really excited because those are the next babies that I can hold. And I was talking to my daughter, who's 2, saying, yep, your papa, I would have another baby, but I got to steal everybody else's babies. Your papa says no babies for her. And he was like, yes, we are done. And I think, and it's partly because of the trauma of that birthing experience with my daughter, and the impact of that ongoing struggle of fighting for everything, fighting for food, fighting for people to come in to resuscitate my daughter after being born, literally screaming, saying, you will get your behind in this room. Those kind of things. And yet the complexity of mothering, of our rise into this different relationship of mothering from 1 to 2, there's so much joy. There's absolutely so much joy. And so, you know, how often do you get to play? We were playing with Ninja Turtles, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just before I came down to this space where I'm with you today. And instead of like chops and things, I made Raphael, the red one, the Ninja Turtle. It was all about ninja hugs. And so the ninja leaps and it's about a hug. So about play and joy. The book begins with this: for all my foremothers and forefathers and beings before, standing in gratitude to my mother, Dr. Norma Thomas, and father Eddie León, and my children, Rafael and Aurelia. You are my living Areto Ta'atare. You invite me to walk as ancestors at the crossroads of all of what came and what will come and what is and is. This poem called Eden had 4 rivers. It is this great joy to like flip the pages, y'all. Eden had 4 rivers. After the birth and the afterbirth, the midwife lifts the placenta to show how from womb we are all elemental. Beloved, suckered from a veiny tree. The assigned boy child was easy. Querido, querida, queridas, we took the organ of our lineage, a treasured gift of our waters and roots, iced and carried in a bloody plastic bag, a budding, and contributed its last work to Fig. After the assigned girl child, wherever you go from, around, to, within, we had to steal what they wanted to study. Mother as creature made possible pathology. We brought a cooler and guarded it. Peaches rise now in a garden that feeds other mouths, breath, ancestor, los ancestros que todavía respiran, están respirando sus canciones. Trees rose and the roots talked to one another. All creatures listened and knew one language. They move like water. We see you, adapting to one another. And in the water we be you, that fed the water and trees and all living things. You be we. There was wisdom and memory passed on. Areto ta'atabe, remembered in stone on a metal tray. Strength, current, wherever there is water and earth, a deliverer holds up a blood tree. Roots the bridge between death and life and dream. Fleshy Eden, listen to the voices still whispering there before the clot. Springtime in mule, an eyelash flutter, our and your own. Yes. Yeah. So that's the book. You pretty much heard like half of it. You might as well buy it. And the book is cool, right? Like before I transition, I suppose, to any questions or celebration, I should know the one thing that we didn't share were the visual art from the book. So there are a sample. I don't know if it'll show here. Yeah, so there are these pages, right, with these collages inside. And y'all, if you download an app called Halo, AR, on your phone's got to be a smartphone, and you hold up the phone with that app open to the screen, to the art, and a video pops up. And so you can see it's this augmented reality. So you can see these videos that are layered onto the page. And the intention is to have them change seasonally. So in 3 months, yeah, I see you, Dimitri. I see you. Look at that joy. And so there's small videos. One is an interview with me, especially right after the Uvalde massacre. And so there are interviews, there are family photos woven into things. There is a 3D altar that's put into video form. Surprises. Who knows what you'll find in 3 months, right? So I hope it's a book that you can come back to over and over and be surprised by the ongoing change, right? Because parenting is an ongoing change, right? From day to day. Like, I don't know who I am today. Who you? Like, who are you being? I don't know who you are. Who are you? I don't know who I am. Okay, we're gonna figure it out. So I am so delighted to have been able to share some work with you all, and again to hear the work of beloved friends and just visionaries, and to also have this work living within you and brought to us. I asked those who were gathered to choose the poems that struck them, that spoke to them, and that's what they did. And I hope that what they shared also reached some part of your core as well. Thank you all so much for coming.
Yes, thank you, Raina. Y'all, we have to celebrate one more time. Yeah, I was like, you can unmute. This is like the moment where it's like, we can really just pour in all of the love and celebration for Raina. All the emojis, yes, y'all, yes. Please read this book, share it with other people that you know and love. It's a wonderful gift. I've already gifted to a few people. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your presence, for your patience, and your continued support of Black Freighter. We are so honored and excited to be celebrating Raina.
Thanks for amazing hosting, Alie.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you to the readers. You all are amazing.
Does anybody have any questions for Raina? Questions for the author?
Okay,
I'll
thank
go
you,
first.
Dr. Alon.
Dimitri, it looks like you got one.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll go first. First of all, that was amazing. That was amazing hosting, Alie. That was amazing readings, everyone. Raina, the book sounds phenomenal. I'm really interested in the whole app thing. Can you talk a bit more of how you thought about doing this app? So the book is ever changing and ever growing. Because with poetry, we can always go back to books and find something different, right? But you're adding a different thing of art onto that. So can you explain that? Because that's wild. That's what everyone like should really be thinking with these books, because of technology, make magic out of it.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, like making magic and thinking about the possibilities of technology and what is allowed. So I am totally a techie, trekkie kind of tech user for all the things, right? I teach a lot on the use of technology. And so I'm always thinking about like, what is another application for things? And I came across, I want to say it was first Halo AR, and I was really interested in what's possible through that app with the creation of augmented reality. And it's so accessible, so approachable. There's also another platform called Black Terminus, which is super interesting. Black-headed AR unit studio. The limitation with them was a minute. So and I wanted longer videos. I wasn't ready. I hadn't started the TikTok yet. The TikTok, I wasn't on the TikTok, so I couldn't limit myself to just a minute or something. Especially like the interview. Nothing is over like 5 minutes, but
You're like, look, I need more time.
I need more time. And I
Mhm.
love the platform, Black Terminus. Y'all should check it out. But Halo is really good, super accessible, and it's just an app that's available too on whatever device you have, so Android or whatever. And I was really interested in thinking about how to incorporate the multidimensional explorations of art that I am so interested in. So there's visual art there, so digital collages. My elder child's art is in the book as well.
Mhm.
As a cueing image for augmented an interview. I think that's the one with the interview. There's even a soundtrack for the book. So just on title, there's a little QR code, but some of the titles from the soundtrack actually make one of the final poems. And so there are like all these explorations of like how can I incorporate multidimensionality, as well as a call to ancestors who are so vibrantly engaged in, or rather I engage in ancestral history through archive. So the first long poem, it's an epic poem, lyric essay, explores this diving into archival history, family genealogies, especially on my dad's side, to learn more about our family, and which is like 20 years of me asking a lot of questions, but especially more recently. And with my daughter, when I was pregnant with her, I became really obsessed. And so that holding of an intentional conversation with ancestors as a point of healing and strength, and visioning about being in ancestral alignment for as well as questioning the past, right? Like not all my ancestors would love me, like not all of them would love me, and I can recognize that and say I'll call your name too, and I don't have to support your decision making, but here I am.
Yeah. And your name on the Halo AR app, is it Raina León?
It is, I actually think it's different. Thank you so much for asking. It is, yes, it is Raina León.
Okay, perfect. And then our next question is coming from Eloisa.
Eloisa, what's the question? Oh yeah, of course. I don't know. Go ahead.
Hello. So it's really not a question per se, but I just wanted to say thank you so much. Alie, I love your hair, side note. I've been wanting to dye mine purple for a long time, and you're the second person in like 2 days that I've seen. I'm like, this is a sign. I should just do this.
Yes.
Anyway, just wanted to say my kids have both been sick since Thursday or Friday, one or the other. And so it's just been extremely draining.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to miss this. And so I just threw on my headset, and my son was doing better, thankfully, these past couple of hours. And so I was still in the same room with him, but I was listening to what I could. And my husband was, coming in and out. And, we've both kind of been tackling both of them all day. And so thank you for your words. I'm so excited to read, the book, because I didn't catch entire pieces, unfortunately. And I'm still nursing her, which is why I'm, going to put her down. But once the transition to cow's milk happens, my husband's going to jump in and help with that too. Yeah, thank you so much. Especially the poem about your daughter having heard during the pandemic, that really hit home, because my own daughter was born in August 2021, and my husband was the only one who could be with me.
Yeah.
I was super, like, I wouldn't go indoors for anything, and I was just so isolated, just in multiple ways. And it caught up with me, unfortunately, in the form of some postpartum depression. So I'm doing a lot better now, thankfully. But to hear that I was not alone in that really felt nice. I'm sorry that you went through that, but thank you so much for sharing, and you're not alone. And yes, just so beautiful, all of it. I'm so excited to read it. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing baby, and for being present, and for connecting. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Yes, thank you so much. I was like, I'm gonna make it through without crying. This is the most beautiful celebration, Raina. I hope that you bask in this, that you really soak it in. We have a recording, so you can always go back to it. Y'all, thank you so much for your presence, and we'll see you at our next event.
Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Night. So good to see everyone. Bye.